suppose I've been involved in youth work for over 30 years, and I started as a volunteer, as a parent, wanting to do something for the kids. And from there I became employed by Leisure and Rec in 1986. And I was there a community worker for the West Mainland. That's from Borough right through to Walls and Sannis. So we were responsible for youth clubs in that area. So my involvement has been sort of as a volunteer to start with, then into a paid post. So there's 10 years as a community worker in the West Side and 10 years as assistant manager in Islesborough, responsible for the youth club in Islesborough. And now, retired, I'm back being a volunteer youth worker in Scalloway. One of the people that really influenced me in my youth work was Muckle, the late Alistair Nicholson. He was a stalwart of Scalloway Youth Centre for many, many years and did fantastic work with the kids. Sports was very high in the agenda in the Shetland Association of Youth Clubs. I'm sure people will mention that, very fond memories, so going away to represent Shetland. But Alistair was a great influence. He touched many, many young people's lives, and he helped me in learning the skills that I needed to do youth work. Well, I have lots of experiences, lots of memories, fantastic memories of young folk achieving great things, but the one that sticks in my mind is working with a group of young folk in Borough. It started through the Community Council being concerned about vandalism in the bus shelter, and they asked what can they do about it, what can I do about it. So as the community worker I met them in the bus shelter, spoke to them and said, you'll have to tell me what you want. We met in the hall, and really all they wanted was a social place to meet, run a pity cafe for themselves with hot food. So we got that started, and there's this core group of young folk worked on that for a good few years, and it was called The Joint. And then one night we had a meeting with the core workers, volunteers, they were young people, 15, 16, and they wanted to do more, and you suddenly felt them empowering themselves. They suddenly realised they had the power to change. It was tangible. It was a fantastic moment. I'll never experience it again in my life, I don't think. But that young folk took it and they went with it. They changed the Joint to the Joint Youth Action Awareness Project. They did environmental projects and won awards. They wrote a play on the Braer, and they showed that in the Garrison Theatre along with other things, and then they went to Belgium and did their play in Belgium. It was absolutely fantastic how that group of young folk moved on. I gave them training in youth work, and some of them went on to be the best youth workers I ever had in Borough. And two of them actually were youth workers up until quite recently, so isn't that fantastic? They changed their lives, but they're also been changing other people's lives. I think it's very important to invest in our young people, because that's our future, and they've got so much potential, so much to give, and it proves that we value them if we invest in them. And I think that over the years, youth services has had cuts and youth clubs has been cut. Friday and Saturday nights was cut completely out of the youth work programme, and I think that needs to come back. Young people need to be feeling that they're valued, that they want a place to meet on a Friday and Saturday night, the same as adults want to do. They want to go out at the weekend, and it's a safe place to go to if you get the right atmosphere and you get staff there that works with the kids. I think that you would get young people coming back if you invest it in Friday and Saturday night youth work. You get the older ones back, because we've proved it in the youth cafe. Know that youth work has changed because of HMI inspectors, and they had the curriculum for excellence coming into youth work. I think that was the kiss of death for youth work. You didn't need to be labelled the curriculum for excellence. If you go into any youth club setting, you could see young folk engaging, confident young people, people learning, peer education going on. Everybody reached a potential in the youth clubs many years ago without the label of curriculum for excellence, and I truly believe that needs to be scrubbed in youth work. And also I believe youth work shouldn't be in schools. There's a place for youth work out in the community where young people feel part of the community, and I think that's really important. I totally agree with that statement. I mean, I gave you the example of the Borough young folk and how it changed their lives, and it changed many young lives in Borough, their contribution. And another story I'd like to tell is about young folk in Islesborough. When I became the assistant manager here in Islesborough, then there's a group of young folk that really took over the youth club. They were a negative influence at that time. And we had a fantastic youth worker, Kay Sanderson, who spent many a long hour speaking to this group of young folk and eventually turned them around. They wanted to put on films in the Garrison Theatre, so Kay found somebody to train them up, and from that it mushroomed into being, I think it was a quarterly thing where they took film mobile up for South, and they ran about 6 films over a long weekend. They were front of house, they were cleaning up after each film, they sold tickets, they did a fantastic job, and that was how the film started in the Garrison. That came from that group of young folk, and it turned many of that young folk's lives around. So that was a really good example. And as a volunteer in the Youth Cafe project in Scalloway, we've got a young person that's done well over 500 hours volunteering. She's a great ambassador for the Youth Cafe. She's a great role model for other young volunteers, and she spends many times showing them what to do. And we've now recently employed her as a trainee youth worker because she's turned 16, and she is a fantastic role model for young folks. So I do think that youth work changes lives. If you've got youth work going on in a community, you'll find 1 or 2 young folk that wants to aspire to other things. Well, I hope that young people have the opportunities to reach their full potential, whatever that might be. I think there needs to be enough resources put into youth work and services for young folk. We do hear about mental health being a big issue for young folk. I think it's about looking at pulling all that services together and really working together, helping young folk. They are our future, and you've got to invest in them, and you've got to give them hope and give them aspirations and give them opportunities. I think there's so much out there that could be of benefit to young folk, but they need to be able to reach that. I do have a saying, and it's one I've used on many occasions, is no one can do everything, everyone can do something, and together we can do it all. And I think the last year that I was working as an employee, they spoke about partnership work and working together, etc. I still think there's a long way to go before everybody is truly working together and sharing resources for the benefit of